Hi everyone, my name is Nik Stewart, and I am a business model, success and empowerment life coach, inventor, swimwear designer, mother agent, mentor, and investor. I am here to share my journey with you. I remember when I started Savannah Primary at the age of 5, we wore the dark blue and white pleated plaid dresses with white buttons that went down the middle. I used to walk to school most mornings with my little leg braces on. That was around the time the movie Forrest Gump came out, and it had become my favorite movie. Anyone here ever heard about or watched the Forrest Gump movie? One day we had extracurricular day, and they had these long white tables down the hallway, and on these tables were cards with one word on them. We had to choose one we wanted to do. Now me looking at all these words, I'm like, Emma, just choose the most weirdest, longest word, cause I don't want to be like everyone else. Naturally, I'm one of those people where we're born outside the box, a true disruptor, and very curious. So I picked up the longest word I could find that nobody else seemed to had chosen, and it said athletics. I was like, oh, I am gonna do the athletics. I didn't know what the athletics was, but I decided I was gonna be the best at it. Mind you, I still have leg braces on, and I was in the 2nd grade. Man, when I found out that athletics was basically running around outside and no test or homework, I was so excited. That's when I started track and field. After a while, I removed my braces and kept doing track and field. I started breaking and setting records and became one of the fastest girls in my age group for years. I competed at international track meets representing Cayman, such as Carifta and Miami Classics, between the ages of 8 to 11 years old. At the age of 11, I went to Jamaica to attend 6th and 7th grade. I then came back to Grand Cayman to train for the Olympics. In my last 2 years of high school, I discovered I actually had a passion for modeling. I went to an open casting at King's Gym for this local modeling competition, and as I walked in, I saw all these beautiful girls all dolled up in their dresses and makeup. And they all just stared at me, because I came in, well skanked in, dressed like an entire tomboy. Bathroom did my hair and makeup and put this beautiful red dress on my mom bought for my birthday. I put my heels on and I stepped out and walked into that room like I owned the building. Everyone was in complete shock. The disgust instantly turned to fear, and I walked in there like I knew I was gonna win. And guess what happened? I won. I even had the opportunity to meet a big New York agency in Jamaica, but I knew I had to graduate high school first. I believe in never losing, only winning or learning. Each experience and opportunity has led me to where I am today, and I am grateful for every step of my journey. So a year later, around graduation time, was very stressful, with exams and training for the Olympics, babysitting my siblings, and homework, and I started to have some issues with my mom, and I was struggling mentally. I just felt like I wasn't serving my purpose, and I felt like my purpose was much bigger than what I was doing, just didn't know what to do. I was so stressed with everything I had going on that I ended up having my first seizure. So one day, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna move to New York, so I took my mother's credit card and I bought myself a ticket to go to New York. And basically that was how my modeling career started. 10 out of 10 do not recommend taking your mother's credit card. I'm still paying for that, or going anywhere without a plan. I lasted about 6 months and I failed miserably. I wasn't working, I was going to all these castings and not booking anything. I didn't know how to dress or how to do my makeup or if I should even wear makeup. I didn't have any friends there. Around that time my grandmother died and I was devastated because we were so close, and I decided to go back home to reset. After that, I moved back to Jamaica with my mother agent at the time and modeled there for about 1 year, but I never got paid anything, and I realized I was just wasting time. Then my grandfather died, and that really rocked my world because I was really close with him as well, and he was the main person who pushed me to follow my dreams of being a model. After the funeral, I went back to Jamaica, and then my boyfriend at the time died like 2 months after in a car accident. At this point, I was just torn apart from every angle. I decided to go home for a year to reset and be around family and friends. I felt lost, tired, and defeated. I had lost the 3 closest people to me in the span of a year. When I got back, I decided to not renew my contract with the New York agency, and I started to look for a new agency. My mother agent came with me to meet with agencies, and she grew very frustrated because no one would sign me, and I remember her saying to me, "You don't have a personality, and no one will ever sign you." I didn't realize it at the time, but I was still in mourning. And she left me right there in New York. That really hurt, but it also motivated me to prove her wrong. So we parted ways, and I went back home to reset again and to come up with a plan. Setting one big goal each year and committing to learning something new every day sounds like a solid approach to life. My grandfather's advice to keep pushing forward and my grandmother's reminder to live in the present and cherish moments while you can are invaluable lessons. It's all about focusing on what matters now and making the most of every opportunity. So I decided to get a job at Airbus with Mr. Edward Solomon, who had introduced me to this lady named Ms. Bethann Hardison. Bethann is a formal model and activist who became my mother agent. I moved back to New York again, but this time I had a plan. I started working in New York, but it was very far and few. In modeling, when you work, you have to wait 90 days before getting paid for each job. It wasn't enough to support myself. My best friend Tiger Lily came across an ad online about Next Top Model coming to the Caribbean and urged me to apply. Without hesitation, I applied and was selected for the show. They flew us all to Trinidad and Tobago, and as soon as I got off the plane, cameras were everywhere. When asked my name, I proudly declared, "My name is Nik Stewart and I am Caribbean's next top model." The other models were shocked since they only said their names, but I claimed the title from the start and carried myself as the winner throughout the competition. I won almost every challenge on the show. After winning the show, the promised $50,000 never came through, but I refused to let that define my story. Life doesn't wait for anyone, so I took charge. I returned to New York, and with the help of my mother agent Bethann, I got signed to a New York agency. Keeping the haircut from Caribbean's Next Top Model, we rebranded me as Nik Stewart, derived from my middle name, Nikita. I wasn't getting enough work in New York. One agency said I was too muscular, another said I was too big and needed to lose weight, even though I was already quite thin. They wanted me to stop eating and working out, which was impossible for me. Growing impatient and struggling with my mental health, I started reading and listening to self-help books. I started journaling and writing letters to my future self, and that really helped to shift my perspective. I started listening to this book called The Secret every single day, and I had a great support system of family and friends that reminded me of who I was when I forgot, and it kept me going.
Have you ever felt stuck in a situation that just wasn't working out? Well, I was in a similar situation not too long ago. I was invited to a party by Ralph Lauren's casting director, and to my surprise, someone had been trying to book me for months. My agency had kept telling me there were no jobs for me. I decided to look into the Chicago industry, and within a week, I got signed and started working more than ever before. That's when I learned the importance of following the path of least resistance. Following the path of least resistance means not forcing situations, relationships, jobs, or people. If something isn't working, pause, reflect, and pivot. In fact, a study by Harvard Business Review shows that pivoting leads to more successful outcomes.
While in Chicago, I started a company, Nothing But Net, with my best friend, Tiger Lily, a swimwear line, and delved into entrepreneurship, learning from YouTube and webinars. I also made it to the top 25 on MasterChef and became the face model for Queen Shiva in Mortal Kombat 11. Feeling the need for growth, I moved to LA, where I thrived in acting and launched NBNI, a mother agency with my best friend, mentoring aspiring models. I then became a certified success and empowerment life coach, and later, my friend and I founded St. Cayman, a wellness company introducing the eye bonnet, a sleep aid protecting hair. So if there's anything you've taken from my story today, I leave you with this. Embrace challenges, there's always another way. Seek support, we're stronger together. Failure is a detour, not a dead end, pivot and learn. Make the most of what you have. Stay curious, keep learning, and stay creative. Every experience is a win or a lesson. Thank you for sharing your wisdom.